Coming your way live from Breakers House, Nile Avenue, the weekly news roundup. My name is Sandra Kahude. Now straight into our activities for the day. President Museveni this weekend officiated the closure of a 4-day Light Up at Choli Land for Jesus Mission 2023 crusade held at Kaunda Grounds, Agulu City. The crusade was hosted by Pastor Patience Rwabogo, a senior preacher at a Covenant Nations Church.
President Kahude Museveni has graced the closure of the 4-day Light Up at Choli Land for Jesus Mission 2023 crusade that has been taking place in Gulu district. This religious gathering, hosted by Pastor Patience Rwabogo of Covenant Nations Church, brought together believers from across the Acholi region. Addressing the gathering, President Museveni shed light on the evolving relationship between the government of Uganda and the born-again Christian community. The president was also happy to note that the religious group which they wanted him to ban has now proved to be a formidable force, helping the government to drive its socio-economic transformation agenda.
I said, but do you remember Jesus? When people came and told him that somebody was pretending to cast out demons like Jesus. And then said, what should we do to him? Should we stop him or not? Jesus said, no, leave him. If he's not against us, he's with us. That's what I told some of the people. You leave those people. If they are telling lies, God will deal with them. So now, these people who were shouting and so on, they seem to have grown in numbers.
He also pledged to give 2 tractors to the born-again Christians in Acholi sub-region to help them fulfill the 4 dimensions of Jesus, which include working with their hands to transform their livelihoods. On the issue of Apa land conflict, the president assured the people of Acholi that government is already handling the matter following the establishment of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry.
What is the problem? Whether the Apa is in Madi or in Acholi, people who have been living there legally. And truthfully. Not Goba. We'll still live there. So what are you fighting for? So that's why we have now appointed a commission of inquiry, or a judicial commission of inquiry. And all of those who have been making people suffer will now have to answer. Because the judicial commission of inquiry is not like what we are doing. You know, we send Rugunda, I don't remember whom we say. These are not judges. These are administrative bodies. But a judicial commission of inquiry, if you go before it and you tell a lie, you have committed perjury.
On her part, Pastor Patience Rwabogo of Covenant Nations informed President Museveni that the 4-day crusade has been life-changing to them, and she believes that it has given a new lease of life to Acholi land.
There was powerful repentance between the Acholi leaders and the Langi, between the Acholi and Karamajong, and Iteso and Madi and Baganda and Banyankore, and vice versa. And we closed the day with celebration and with the anointing of the land as a symbol of a new beginning and the Holy Spirit.
The Minister of State for Northern Uganda, Honorable Grace Freedom Kuichenyi, informed the gathering that although guns have gone silent in Northern Uganda, the people are still hurting, and reconciliation will be the only way to bring the people together to work for development. This ceremony was attended by senior pastors from across the country and representatives from other religious denominations.
President Yoweri Museveni this week commissioned the concrete rail sleeper manufacturing factory in Kawolo Buyiko district. The President right there asked investors to exploit Uganda's economic potential by adding value to what is produced in the country.
President Museveni has urged European countries to change their perception of Africa as an investment destination.
The country and investors, international investors, is what will propel the country very fast forward and reliably. There are cultural links between Europe and Africa, but they have not been using this opportunity. So I really want to thank this particular group to come and discover this potential here. And with this, we can do more work.
Museveni says he is committed to establishing essential production pillars to attract foreign capital inflows.
Because, you know, with this factory here, the cement they are using is local. If the steel is local. Will a Spanish man come with electricity from Spain up to here? He will use my electricity. He will use my water. The labor. So if he earns $100, I will take 90, he keeps 10. So,
Imathia, a Spanish company, has signed a contract with the government through the Ministry of Works and Transport.
But the main thing was it involves doing the concrete sleepers and relaying the line between Mukono and Kampala. Plus now what we are going to do between Port Bell and Chenge.
This concrete sleepers plant has 90% of local staff component. The young Ugandan men and women have learned how to operate this plant, and I'm in no doubt that one day we shall be 100% Ugandan operated.
The establishment of this concrete rail sleeper factory is anticipated to drive a significant transformation in Uganda's transport sector.
There's going to be, we are putting in a lot of emphasis in the railway transport, and I think most of you know, railway transport, there are three forms of transport: water, railway, road, maybe 4 and air. But of course water is the cheapest, railway is cheaper, road is expensive, air is more expensive. So if we can have as much of the cargo on rail, it will be a very, very big boost in our trade.
Uganda intends to leverage this newly established factory to strengthen its bargaining position in future infrastructure projects.
We are also in the advanced stages of doing the standard gauge railway. The standard gauge railway actually uses concrete sleepers. So if we buy off this facility, then we'll be home and dry when we go into the construction of the standard gauge railway. Yes, the standard gauge railway may be contracted by another company. They may say but we shall negotiate so that this facility can serve. We can use it as local content to service the construction of the standard gauge.
They are going to get jobs, our people are going to get employment, so we are so happy, and we know that they will get some money to sustain them as a family. So this initiative, we are very proud as leaders of Uyukwe.
The production of railway concrete sleepers commenced as a pilot project, initially connecting Kampala to Namanve, Namanve to Mukono, and later extending to Kampala Chengela. Abdul Nasele Lubwama for UBC.
Prime Minister Robin Anabanja this week was in Nakasongola to mobilize farmers for an agro-expo and stress the importance of farmers learning to immunize their livestock. The expo brought together numerous farmers, both exhibitors and attendees who sought knowledge and insights from various agricultural experts. As we take a look.
The Farmer Mobilization and Education Expo has been held in Nakasongola district, and it has brought together a big number of farmers, both exhibitors and participants, to learn from the different experts. The Prime Minister Robin Anabanja toured the exhibition and appreciated the technology in agriculture like tractors for mechanized agriculture.
Era enteze tezina kizibu ky'amazzi naye abatuusa abo batono tuli ffenna kakati ebimotoka biri byolaba ebyo omulimo gwabyo kwatagana n'abagirikaca bano bwe tugenda okubawa amasimu gammwe babayambe babakonectinge ku mechanization center waneruwero olete ekimotoka kikusimira amazzi.
Nakasongola district has not received rain since May this year, and this is a challenge to farmers. Government has dug over 50 dams in this district. This is a district which is mainly dominated by cattle keepers. To improve production and productivity, Ministry of Agriculture trained veterinary doctors to do artificial insemination. However, cattle keepers find challenges of water and tick disease, plus the fluctuating prices of milk.
We know that when we try to improve the breeds, the productivity and production of the animals will improve, and in the end, the livelihood of the farmers will also be improved, whereby the farmer can keep a crossbreed which can give him like 15 liters, other than keeping 200 animals where he can get 50 liters. In the end, it will increase on the quantity of milk on market and the amount he can get from that sale. But while prolonged dry spell, and we find that we have pasture scarcity and water scarcity. And during that process, many animals die and lose weight. In the end, the market value also goes down, which reduces on what they can get from that animals in the market. Still,
Nakasongola District Local Poultry and Rabbit Farmers Association exhibited local chicken, which they say is profitable, though farmers have not appreciated it and prefer foreign breed.
Our colleagues in our community, they dislike this system. For them, they say that it takes long for the poultry to get ready for sale. Another thing, on the side of rabbit, for us we deal with the exotic rabbit breeds, more especially chinchilla, brown chinchilla, California wonder, and so many other species. These ones in Nakasongola, they are not doing well. The reason is being, in Nakasongola, we are few farmers who are engaged in rabbit farming.
Especially those that use tankers compete with those who fish from the lake. They face a challenge of fish feeds.
Face a challenge of water. Our district is constrained, is stressed when it comes to water. Now, because of that, and yet our farmers, most of them would have loved to farm tilapia. But because of the water constraints, it becomes difficult. So we have recommended Clarias, that is a male. So most of them are farming a male. That's why they are demonstrating a male, because the male can withstand water stress. However, it is related to inputs, especially when it comes to feeds. As we talk now, there are quite a number of fake inputs on the markets. This one has impacted negatively on fish farming in our particular location. So today, it's providing an opportunity for our farmers to interact with research, to interact with the input dealers, to be in a position to identify or differentiate between fake inputs and original inputs.
The minister, before reaching the venue for the expo, first visited different model farmers in Nakasongola and Kakoge, both livestock and coffee farmers.
From government, at a very minimal waliyo ebimotoka ebya Ministry of Agriculture esobola okusimira amazzi wano.
I'm Nafka Farida and Kenneth Tanaba in Nakasongola.
In other updates, the former Inspector General of Police, General Sandra Kahude, was this week acquitted of the charges against him. This was before the chairman of this court, Brigadier General Freeman Robert Mugabe, where he said that General Kahude is now free since the Director of Prosecutions in the Army had withdrawn all the charges against him.
Prior to his official retirement from the Uganda People's Defence Forces (UPDF), the Director of Public Prosecutions of the Army dropped charges against the former Inspector General of Police, General Sandra Kahude. The General Court Martial, presided over by Chairman Brigadier General Freeman Robert Mugabe, immediately discontinued all the charges against General Sandra Kahude.
And you are accordingly set free.
In an exclusive interview, we explore circumstances under which the DPP's Office of the Army can drop charges against the accused in a continuous case.
After carrying out investigation, the prosecutor might find that he or she does not have sufficient evidence to present to the court.
With or without evidence, is not willing to continue with the charges. It shows one or two things. First, the state has always gone to court unprepared. Secondly, the state has always gone to court through either politics or other instigations.
I would expect that on the file of the prosecutor, the reasons would be recorded.
In the General Court Martial, General Sandra Kahude was facing charges of failure to protect war materials, aiding kidnap, among other offences, and was waiting prosecution since 2018.
The laws, I think, are sufficient, but the issue is the people that be. Are they free from manipulation? Whoever has authority over them? I think that is where we need to look. I think that office is being abused.
However, legal minds have reservations about the prosecution process in which criminal charges were dropped from General Sandra Kahude.
Inspector General of Police is not an ordinary man. The charges which were laid against the Inspector General of Police were serious charges. Because of the gravity, it will be in the interest of the country for us to know under what circumstances you are terminating proceedings. Leaves us wondering, are high officers in this country involved in criminal activities?
The legal experts have described the move as a failure of justice to the accused, Ugandans and the country at large, with capital offences he was facing.
There are some elements of politics in this. Ugandans woke up to be told that the Inspector General of Police had failed to keep guns and bullets safely, had failed to account for them. Some of them had found their way in criminal hands. Obviously, for Ugandans to feel justice would be for all this to have come out.
If these are the particulars of the offense that was charged as against him, then it is very absurd. But as a lawyer, I know that he is innocent until we prove such particulars or facts laid as against him. And I believe probably he's now seen the other side of the coin, and I want him to be at the front, to join us, people always in public interest litigation, human rights advocates.
At least, first of all, telling you that I'm extremely happy.
However, experts on legal matters say withdrawing charges against someone doesn't in any way free a suspect.
I don't see General Sandra Kahude a free man. The rope is still hanging around his neck. When charges are dropped, does it not mean they cannot be reinstituted? I see a prisoner who will work at the whims of the one who had placed charges against him.
Simply dropping them, the question remains hanging. Did he do it or didn't he do it? Because the dropping charges is not an acquittal. We wouldn't like a situation where we fear that our Inspector General of Police or somewhere at such a high level can be involved in criminal activities. He is supposed to be guarding us, protecting us.
It's alleged that the charges of failure to protect war materials was penning the accused for letting war materials into the hands of the civilians and non-authorized people If in any way cases are dropped against the suspect, does it mean that one has a right to file a suit against government or any other complainant?
For unlawful arrest, false imprisonment, detention, malicious prosecution.
If he honestly believes, being a lawyer, that actually he had no charges worthy a name before that court, I await to see him. Then he'll at least prove to us that he believes there was no case against him.
On several occasions, the DPP's office in Civil Court San Court Marshal has been seen withdrawing charges from the suspects. Samuel Muizi says such actions of DPP's office prompts Ugandans to lose trust in government institutions.
You find decisions continuing to bear the whims of the leaders other than the institutions that they govern. No longer most of them do not see the light of day when properly examined. Ours is a demand for structural changes and improvement, and this may even go. The laws actually are okay.
General Kale Kayihura was facing prosecution in the General Court Martial since 2018. However, no witness was brought to court. Not until Wednesday this week, when prosecution withdrew all the charges against him. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
You're still watching the UBC Weekly News Roundup that comes your way every Sunday afternoon. Now, over 3 billion shillings is needed to complete All Saints Cathedral Church, Nakasero, Kampala. This was disclosed early this week by the Archbishop over the Church of Uganda, Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, at a press conference held at Namirembe Cathedral.
Since 2004, Kampala Diocese has had intentions of refacing All Saints Cathedral Church, Nakasero. This started with the former Archbishop of Uganda, the late Livingstone Mpalanyi-Koyoyo, who laid the foundation for this work. While briefing the media, the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, says they have organized the fundraising event slated for 3rd September 2023 at All Saints Cathedral Church, Nakasero.
The objective of this event is to raise around 3 billion to complete the interior of the new cathedral building to achieve a usable state. Completion of all interior works and installations is anticipated by the end of this year. With exterior works, this one will be completed next year, 2024.
The cathedral is designed to seat over 5,000 people, allowing concurrent services in its 4 chapels.
In a single service, and also allows for concurrent services in its 4 chapels. So we can have 5,000 in a single sitting, but also 4 chapels, we can have other services run concurrently.
Archbishop Kazimba further called upon Christians across the country to support the church in building the cathedral.
Thank all of you, God's people, men and women of God, of different denominations, all God's people, for the support you have given us in the past. I want to use the same moment to appeal to all of you, God's children, dear viewers, men and women of God, to come and join us in raising resources for the completion of the cathedral.
The official function is to be graced by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa. Rebecca Natongo, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
Moving on, a Uganda prison spokesperson, Frank Baine, has clarified on the category of inmates that were considered for freedom following the presidential prerogative of mercy. Baine says only minor and not capital offenders were considered after a thorough process was conducted. As we take a look.
Article 21 gives a discretion to the head of the state to pardon or sign a death of warrant of a prisoner in that specified category.
In this communication is a full list of 200 inmates recently freed by the President of the Republic of Uganda. In it is also former Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Public Service, Jimmy Ruamafa. He was convicted for causing financial loss to government worth billions of Uganda shillings.
He is above 65, so he was fitting in the category of the elderly. 2, he didn't commit a capital offense. And then 3, he had actually finished 3/4 of his sentence.
This has since raised questions on how the entire process was conducted before a pardon was reached. Uganda prison spokesperson Frank Baine cites the necessary legal provisions.
Uganda Prison Service prepares a report on reviewed cases of those prisoners, submits to Attorney General. Attorney General sits with the committee, prerogative of Mercy Committee, because there are 7. Then, if there is anything they think we have missed, they ask for it. Sometimes even in the middle, like now, before we are even compiling, there could be a need from the top asking for certain categories of people, like I think the other year when we had those foreigners specifically released, because that's what the president wanted to do. So anytime they can ask, or we genuinely submit annually for this kind of program.
This time, only minor offenders as opposed to capital convicts were considered.
All offenders that have finished 50% of their sentence qualify for this pardon. All the people above the age of 65 qualify for this pardon. Now, the terminally sick, with them there is a bit even lower. Those who have finished 1/4 of their sentence and are terminally sick, those can be also pardoned on compassionate grounds.
Uganda Prison Service has in its custody about 75,000 inmates. Out of these, about 39,000 are convicts already serving various sentences. So why were only 200 considered for the presidential pardon?
According to the committee, they did not have satisfactory reason as to why they would forward their names, especially on the circumstances surrounding the offenses they committed.
As for Richard Arinaitwe, who was convicted for murdering an American volunteer in the late 1990s, here is why he was not considered for the presidential pardon.
For the condemned prisoners, you can only appear if you have completed the appeal process. For those convicted to a term of sentence, you must be remaining with less than 6 months. So the conviction that Arenitwe got is not for less than, I think he can't even tell when for how long he's supposed to remain in the prison, but mainly because he's charged of the capital offenses of murder. That's why his name could not feature in this list.
In adherence to the required period of effecting the presidential pardon, the 200 have since been set free. It remains to be seen how more of such inmates will be freed going forward. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The first Deputy Premier and Minister for East African Affairs, Right Honourable Rebecca Kadaga, this week lauded the Lions Club International members for complementing government's efforts in improving healthcare and the environment as far as humanitarian efforts are concerned. While hosting a delegation from Lions Club International headquarters led by past international President Brian Sheehan at her office in Kampala, the Deputy Premier pledged government support to the Lions Club services activities in Uganda.
We all work, when we can work together, we change the world, but we make a great day for so many people. Rotarians, Lions, Gowanus, all of them. And I want to also give you
The first Deputy Prime Minister, also Minister for East African Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, has hosted Lions Club International leaders and pledged to support their service activities across the country.
Remember the parliament, we raised 2 billion shillings for the cancer ward, so we've been doing quite a bit. But I think we need to recruit more.
When we went down there, we looked at orphanages, we planted trees down there, we saw the schools that they had there, and today is another wild day with
Past Lions Club's International President, Brian Shehani and team were accompanied to Kadaga's office by the Lions Club of Uganda District 411B Governor, Dr. Stanley Babikire, and other top Lions Clubs of Uganda leaders.
I'll share with you my fresh banner, and please feel free to put it anywhere.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'll put it in my office.
Shehana and team, who have been on a working visit to Uganda, inspecting some of the activities of Lions Club District 411B, were briefing Kadaga about their support to Lions Club's District 411B that include environment, food support to the hungry, eye care, medical support to children with cancer, environment management, and capacity building among medical workers, among others.
We need to develop a new culture, train our community from childhood that you need to respect your elders. You know, when I sit on the train in London, because I'm a woman, if I go and there's no seat, the man will stand up. Just automatically.
The visiting team later addressed Lions Clubs of Uganda leaders before briefing the media on Lions Club's international activities, including a desire for more Ugandans to join the club and empower the organization to offer more services to the less privileged and those in need. The Lions Clubs International operates in over 200 countries with a membership of close to 1.6 million Lions and Leos. Uganda has 56 clubs with about 400 men and
There's
women.
no better organization to contribute to than Lions, because with CSR, and you can do this here if you want to, with CSR, if that corporation will give us money, the Lions will help do the work. What are you passionate about? Oh, you want to do something with vision, or oh, you want to do something with mental health, or oh, you want to do something on environment. We can help you. We got the boots on the ground. We're ready to do it. We will brand our name along with yours, and we will help you and get it done. My area is not good.
Moving on, Entebbe Municipal Development Forum and civil society organizations have expressed concern of the increasing waste disposal of plastic bottles and polythene bags in the lake and trenches, which has resulted in climate change. This prompted relevant authorities to conduct Entebbe Climate Action Baraza to catalyze climate action through circles to facilitate environmental conservation.
Why we are here today, we would like to partner with residents and some of our partners or associates in Entebbe Municipal Council to see how we can catalyze climate action through the local structures on ground. And we are interested in mapping some of these local structures that are addressing climate change. You well know that climate change affects us all, but as women, we feel sometimes we are more vulnerable to climate change impacts. And given the fact that in most of these saving circles, again, women have very particular interests in saving, we feel the circles are a good platform to catalyze climate action. And through this community baraza, which we have organized with support from the Bosch Alumni Network, we have actually come to realize that there is need, people are interested.
MDF as the Municipal Development Forum, so far we contributed, but so far we partnered with the Go Green Association in Kampala, and they gave us many seedlings. We have so far planted 10,000 trees and above in Entebbe municipality, using schools, using the community places, and also using along the road. But the area we're having now a problem is the plastic bag paper, these papers around. We have got this place down the lake where pollution is taking place. A lot of things, even as we speak now, a lot of rubbish is being put in that lake. And that is a big, big problem, big challenge to really see how that lake is going to get spoiled.
So we are looking at now, how can we integrate also the financing of these climate activities. And one of the things we are looking at, how do we position ourselves to benefit from the carbon credit? You know very well that carbon credit is a process which finances every effort aiming at conserving the environment, for example, planting trees, where companies can come and multinational company and say, we are going to compensate or we are going to fulfill our social responsibility through supporting or recognizing this circle which has been doing a lot of work to cut on the emission or to plant trees which are going to absorb all these emissions. So the Balaza is an intervention which has come at the right time.
Government in partnership with Baila Uganda this week embarked on a drive to equip health facilities in Bunyoro sub-region with point-of-care system to support real-time data capture. The campaign was described as a timely intervention to boost healthcare services in the region by transforming the digital healthcare system in the health facilities.
Kikube district is among the districts in Bunyoro sub-region where transforming digital healthcare system campaign is being piloted by government in partnership with Baila Uganda.
In Kikube district right now, it's already at Kikube Health Center 4 and at Changwari Health Center 4, but it's also in a number of facilities in the region right now, and it is funded by PEPFAR, which is a US government funding for HIV care in this country, but through CDC.
This will go a long way in improving health real-time data collection in health facilities of the region.
Initially, it was the HIV service delivery, but now we are trying to make sure that all the points of service in a health center actually can do data capture using computers, and at reporting we don't have to go into the paper records that sometimes may be inaccurate, but data collection is easier, data reporting is faster, and things can be captured as and when work is going on.
The system has enabled the districts in the region to bridge gaps in the health sector.
Before the coming, of course, we had a small unit of these computers in our health center 4 of Chikube, but we needed backing up and some were obsolete. So the coming of these modern equipment, we believe it's going to further more of the service delivery that our patients would need to have.
Minister of State for Bunyoro Affairs Jennifer Namuyangu hailed Baila Uganda for supporting government in the health sector.
We need to pick data, and based on this information we are able now to know what kind of diseases are affecting our people, how to handle them, the population that we have in terms of attending health care. So I want really to appreciate you, to thank you so much on behalf of government for the support that you've given us.
She also advised the technical team to utilize the system once installed in the health facilities.
Let them capture the data. They should not put there the computers and then nobody is attending to them. They go back and write in the books. Yes, this is for us now to capture the data. They have even added on more features, sampling, capturing. This is a lot of improvement and I want to appreciate you.
Joseph Oko, UBC.
In other activities, a Mulago hospital has been able to tame cancer infection among children below 1 year by over 75%. The management of children's cancer ward at the hospital, led by Dr. Peter Waiswa, says that previously 1 out of every 5 children with cancer would die before celebrating their first birthday. This follows the increased medical financial support of the Lions Clubs International to the facility.
Lions Clubs International support to hospitals in Uganda is bearing fruit with an increase of survival rate of affected children by over 75%.
How are you? I love seeing your smiles. Fabulous. How are you?
The management of Children's Cancer Ward at Mulago Hospital says there are more chances for children to survive cancer than ever before, following capacity building of medical workers, setting up and equipping of a pharmacy to provide cancer drugs to children.
As I tell people, these kind of conditions, it's like a time bomb. You know, anything can happen. So
The sooner they get a transplant, the better. So hopefully.
This was disclosed during the visit of the past international president, the Lions Club's international Brian Sheehan, who was in company of the past international director Phil Nathan, board-appointed Dami Elkins, past international director Manoj Shan, the Governor Lions of Uganda District 411B, Dr. Stanley Bubikire, and leaders of Ugandan Lions Clubs.
They are so good that eventually the neighboring districts from other countries can't absorb our services. So if I now put on the other hat as health service providers, that is normal.
We can help people that are in need. And today when we come here, it's very emotional. And you see the things that we can do and the more things that we can do. I appreciate the people that are here. I appreciate what they have done. I know it's very hard all the time, but this is what it's all about.
Brian Sheehan, who was seemingly touched by the cancer children's predicament, promised to escalate support to the Children's Cancer Ward. Earlier, Sheehan and his team visited in Zambia Hospital, where Lions Clubs International is building a children's cancer ward and an eye clinic, among others.
We are very, very excited. We've been carrying out outreach camps. We cannot wait to simply change eye care in this area.
Medical workers led by the hospital's director, Dr. Andrew Sechitoleko, said the facility is going to provide relief to the many cancer patients that flock the hospital.
So the partnership with Lions Club International has made it possible for the hospital because it has done the investment onto the hospital, and the hospital will be responsible for running the project moving into the future.
Brian Sheehan has been in Uganda for a 2-day visit to check on the Lions Clubs of Uganda District 411B community projects funded by the Lions Clubs International.
And how passionate you are and how important this is, and that's why we're Lions. And the cool thing about our foundation, you may or may not know, is whenever we give $1 to our foundation, that whole dollar goes out to people in need. We don't have any overhead or anything else.
Sudat Kaye and Deo Habimana, UBC News.
And I know you're a Rotarian, but
Well, good to know. Still following this newscast. Shortly after these messages, I return with our special guests for the day. Still talking about that update that we just witnessed, that is to do with child cancer. And having Dr. Annette, as she'll also be joined by Michelle Mugenyi from Mulago National Referral Hospital. Keep watching.
Send transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Uncle, you should see London.
Oh, my boy. It has been 5 years. You should see Uganda.
Yes. Uncle Marcus, that's my former school.
See, soon there will be more than 1 million children learning like this for free.
This is impressive. Do you even have connection out here?
We have 100% 4G countrywide. Okay. We even have 5G too.
That's approximately 700 billion Uganda shillings in tax, making Airtel one of the largest corporate income taxpayers over the last 5 years, helping build a better Uganda.
Today your son saw our new Uganda.
Thank you, Uganda, for imagining it with us and making us the fastest growing telecom in the country over the past 5 years.
Sebo.
Yes?
This is the bill.
What?
Malaria testing, 10,000. Treatment, 100,000 since we put on drip.
Hey, Musao, can you read this for me? Before I brought my wife here, I'd already spent money on buying herbal medicine and drugs from the pharmacy, which didn't work.
But Sebo, the government gave out mosquito nets. Doesn't your family use them?
We got the mosquito nets, but they got holes and we didn't know what to do.
Protect your loved ones from malaria. Sew your mosquito nets whenever they get damaged to keep the mosquitoes away. Ensure all nets are tied up every morning to avoid damaging them. Ensure that everyone in your family sleeps under a treated mosquito net every night, whether it is a cold or hot season. Together, we can chase malaria out of Uganda. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Global Fund.
No malaria will catch.
Here is the 2023 musical launch of the year. 16th of September 2023, Kololo Ceremonial Grounds will be the only place to be, as the whole of Uganda will gather to witness the Museveni Awoma musical launch by Eman Sereko, also known as Munamasaka. Don't miss all your artists, comedians, stage and movie actors, members of parliament, ministers, leaders at different levels, led by the Right Honorable Premier Robin Nabanja. The chief guest of the day will be the one and only Sabalwanyi Jajamwami, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. All at a free entry at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds on the 16th of September 2023. Do not miss.
Send transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Updates that are coming your way every Sunday, the weekly news roundup, a special edition. And earlier on we did have an update that came through to do with cancer affecting the young children. And before the messages, I promised we're going to be having guests in studio to put more light as far as cancer among children is concerned and why this particular talk on such a day. My name is Sandra, and joining me this afternoon I am having Dr. Annette Nachirulu. She's a pediatric hematologist, ecologist, a senior ecologist from Mulago Referral Hospital. And there you'll also be having Michelle Mojenyi, a program manager, Global Hope, Mulago National Referral Hospital. They're going to be giving us more insight. But just a few highlights or maybe facts that you need to have as far as the conversation is concerned. And it's to do with the childhood cancer, the National Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. It is an annual national health campaign organized by childhood care organizers to increase awareness of pediatric care. That is to raise the funds for research into the cause, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and care message of the childhood care awareness. That is to do with the childhood care cancer awareness, and that is why they're putting this particular information out there to appreciate and also embrace the young children out there who are experiencing this vice, that is cancer. Dr. Annette is here to give us more, just next to me. You're most welcome. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
How have you been?
I'm okay.
It's a busy month.
Seriously.
Well done. We do commend you for the great work you're doing.
It's all God's glory.
And just next to Dr. Annette, I'm having Michelle Mojenyi. You're most welcome to the National Broadcaster. How have you been?
I'm doing very well.
Well done. Good to have you. It's Cancer Awareness Month, celebrating and appreciating the caregivers who are having the children that are experiencing this particular disease. It's a National Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. That is to do with the month of September, just a few days into it. Why is it so? How come you came up with such an arrangement or an initiative?
To answer that, in the world, many children are born with cancer. And in sub-Saharan Africa, it's estimated that about 250,000 children are born with cancer each year, of which more than 100,000 die each year. And in the developed country, we find that more than 80% of these children, and in some other countries more than 90%, survive cancer. But in our developing countries, you find that less than 50% of them survive. And in some, less even than 25%, some even less than 10% survive. In Uganda, it's estimated about 7,000 children develop cancer every year. But only about 600 children receive care, have access to care. And last census has shown that 43% of children do not even get a diagnosis of cancer. That means they die before the diagnosis is done. What are the problems with this? And why is there a late diagnosis, or why are some of them not diagnosed? Number one, lack of knowledge. We find that some of us health workers may lack knowledge about children's cancers, and now also the community lacks a lot of knowledge about cancers. So that's why you find that some may have also some myths and misconceptions. To add on that, some may lack financial support from the family, others don't have enough jobs. So you find that they end up seeking care when it's really late, when the treatment we have can no longer help the children. Because you find that when they come late, they die because of cancer, and they die even before 1 month into treatment. But if they are the diagnosis is made really early, they can begin treatment early, and thus better survival for these children. So that's why we are here, to ensure that we remember these children and also bring out the message out there that we are here to care for them, and we have a great team of health workers who are knowledgeable, who have practiced enough, and have the expertise to do so.
Okay, I'll just move to Michelle. I know you'd love to add thoughts to what a doctor has been expressing here. How come you're honoring the heroes in the cancer treatment and prevention campaign? Because I know at least we have those who have taken part and have embraced these little ones.
So why we are really raising hope for these children is, one, childhood cancer is curable. It is most of these children have a higher chance than adults do. I'm just here basically to talk about the program that we are running at Mulago National Referral Hospital, which will give you a better understanding why we are promoting awareness, just to show people that childhood cancer is curable. When we started this program, it is a partnership between Global Hope, which stands for Hematology, Oncology, Pediatric Excellence. It was started by Texas Children's Hospital, one of the largest hospitals in the USA. They were successful in dramatically improving the outcomes of childhood cancer, and they are part of the developed world. And 90% of the children survive cancer in those areas, and yet they have few children than they treat in comparison to Africa, like Dr. Annette mentioned. So they decided, since they've had such success in training doctors to become specialists to treat this disease, why don't they come to Africa, where we are having 100,000 children or more, over 240,000 dying, who are diagnosed with cancer, and over 100,000 dying, and they are dying because of lack of access to diagnosis and treatment. So they started up this program. They got a partnership with Mulago National Referral Hospital, Makerere University, to really build capacity to improve these outcomes of childhood cancer. So I can tell you that since we started in Mulago Hospital, from 2019 to date, we have diagnosed and treated over 1,000 patients. And in those 1,000 patients, in the beginning, when we had just started this program, it would only be 10 to 30% of these children who would survive. Just even 1 month, you would have almost 70% dying. But now we have changed those outcomes, where since 2019 to date, I can say that over 60% of these children are surviving over 1 year.
So it's a call of action, the capacity building we're talking about. All of us have to take part.
All of us have to come together, and we are raising awareness, not only raising awareness about childhood cancer being curable, but trying to raise funds. Because of course it is very expensive. The drugs are expensive, the diagnostics to treat this, to find out what type of cancers are expensive, and all that all the
so
treatment packages.
So how do we come in as a general public? Because at least we commend some of the other organizations that have taken part, and like you've been citing out, that also includes the Lions International support that you've also received. How can the rest be part of this to support?
Yeah, the rest, even right from the community grassroots, they can just go into the communities and talk about childhood cancer, how it is curable. Those who are in nearest health facilities, they should come, once they have any signs and symptoms, they should come to the healthcare facilities to receive treatment. I'm calling upon advocacy community organizations or communities to spread this message that childhood cancer is curable, and to bring children, and to not take it like cancer is maybe a witchcraft or something like that, all these myths and misconceptions of childhood cancer, but to come out there and say it is curable, bring the children to be treated, raise awareness. And I'm also calling upon the government to join forces with us. They're already supporting us, but there is more support that is needed.
Okay. Before we let the guests for the day leave us, maybe a word or two for some of the concerns that you've been citing out when it comes to this.
The Childhood Awareness Month, remember, has been celebrated since 1999, and September 2023 actually will mark the 33rd anniversary. So generally, I call upon the public so that we honor and celebrate these courageous and children who are full of strength, and the caretakers, because cancer itself is not an easy diagnosis, and the journey they go through is not an easy diagnosis. You find that many of them are abandoned by their partners, they are abandoned by relatives, and yet this journey does not involve care by one person. So we call upon spouses to work together for the better outcomes of these children. And I also call upon all families, when a child is diagnosed with cancer, keep together with the health workers. It's not an easy journey, but we are ready to walk this journey with everybody that is affected. Remember, these children, instead of being in school, playing with others, they are in hospital battling cancer. Yet this is something that we can be treated and it can be prevented. Many can go back to school, can mainly be treated, and many can go back to school and their quality of life will be much better. So we call upon the whole public, we call upon parents, we call upon all health workers, we call upon all partners to work and fight for these children, because they can't voice for themselves. It's us to take the voice out there. Thank you.
Amazing work that you're doing as a Mulago National Referral Hospital. Our guest for the day, Dr. Annette Nachiruru, pediatric hematologist, a senior ecologist, Mulago Referral Hospital, as well as Michelle Mujeni at the extreme end, the program manager, Global Hope, Mulago National Referral Hospital. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. And I hope and pray that the general public will also take part in this initiative. It's Cancer Awareness Month. Embrace the children. To the caregivers and the other organizations that have been part of this, we salute you. Thank you for watching today's newscast. My name is Sandra Kahude, wishing you a great afternoon, and lots of programs are lined up for you. Greetings from the team behind the scene. A blessed week ahead of you.
UBC, inspiring.